Implicit versus explicit dependencies. Terraform builds the dependency graph from references between arguments. The graph decides operation order, not file order. A missing edge creates parallelism, which can trigger reads and writes before the prerequisite behavior is true. An expression reference like awsvpc.main.id becomes a graph edge. That edge forces the VPC to exist before the subnet is created. If you remove the reference, Terraform has no reason to sequence those operations. A hard-coded string is data, not a reference. Terraform cannot infer an edge from VPC ID equals VPC-ABC123 because it has no object relationship. This can create a plan that looks valid but is detached from the actual life cycle of your infrastructure. Data sources run read operations during planning and apply refresh. If a data source depends on a behavior that is not expressed as an argument reference, Terraform can read too early and fail. Explicit dependencies can force Terraform to complete all actions, including reads, on the prerequisite object first. Depends on injects an explicit edge when no argument reference exists. Terraform will then complete actions on the dependency object, including read operations, before acting on the dependent object. This is the last resort for behavioral dependencies that are real but not represented in data flow. On a submarine, you do not open a valve because the drawing says it exists. You open it because upstream conditions are verified and interlocks are satisfied. If you bypass the interlock, you can move faster for one evolution and then pay for it during the casualty when the system state is not what you assumed. In Terraform, missing dependencies create the same failure mode. Operations start based on absent edges, and the first symptom shows up as flaky plan or an apply that fails halfway through. Overusing depends on reduces safe parallelism. It can force Terraform to sequence actions that could have been concurrent, which increases runtime and makes graphs harder to reason about. Module level depends on amplifies this by forcing ordering across many resources at once.